All right. Well, today I wanted to talk about the time when college girls used me to buy alcohol and then ditched me right away. Back at this time in college, I was balding with a grown out Norwood 4 receding hairline, and I was very overweight at the time, to say the least. And I also wore like really baggy clothes and couldn't grow any facial hair, so the double chin of death was real. I was walking to this local bar at the college I was going to up in the middle of nowhere. As I was getting closer to the bar, there were like these three girls. Like one was blonde, two were like brunettes. I believe they were all freshmen, and all of them were fairly attractive from what I can remember. I'm not even entirely sure actually if they went to the university, to be honest, because after this I never saw them, and this was like a pretty small school. Like this school had about like 5,000 people, and it was in the middle of nowhere. So like pretty much everyone knew each other, at least like knew of each other. So as I was about to cross the corner to walk across the street to the bar, I remember one of the girls saying, "Hey," with like a really flirty tone. At the time, like being overweight, like very overweight and pretty unattractive, I wasn't getting this type of treatment from girls too often. So the girl then said, "What are you doing tonight?" I told them that I was going to the bar across the street. The girl then say, "Hey, like you should get us alcohol and then we can drink together and go to a party." And in my head as like a balding Shrek, I thought I hit the Mega Millions jackpot, and I enthusiastically said to the girl, "Yeah, let's do it." In my head, I was picturing like a very fun night with them, and then the other said, "Yeah, well, the thing is, yeah, that's great. We can go to a party. Like, we just don't have any money. If you wouldn't mind, like, getting us a bottle of vodka and some tequila, that'll work." So I had a job at a gas station back then, and I did have some like pocket change to buy alcohol. So I agreed. And there was a liquor store like right down the street from the bar. So, it wasn't really too far. So they walked with me to the liquor store. And, especially when you're overweight and you look much older because of your receding hairline, you're not used to this type of attention, especially if you've been overweight for a period of time. I felt like I was on cloud nine. Like I literally hit the jackpot. So I walk into the liquor store, buy some cheap tequila, buy a cheap bottle of vodka, and then I walk out front to give it to them. And the craziest part is like they're they had these like smiles on their face, like when I was walking out of the liquor store. And the second I like handed them, the vodka and I handed them the tequila, their like whole demeanor changed in a heartbeat. Like one of them said thanks, but like after that, it was like they looked at the bottles and the one girl was like, "Why did you buy us cheap tequila?" And like I had bought Jose Cuervo tequila and like a bottle of Smirnoff. Like I said, this was like pocket change, and I was like a broke college student, so it wasn't like I could afford something better with like my gas station money that I worked. So I played it off, and I was like, "What are you talking about? Jose Cuervo is really good." And like I grabbed the one girl's, like I asked after I did this, I was like, "Hey, like let me get your number," and got her number. And then as we were about to leave, I had to take a piss like really bad. So I said to them, I was like, "Hey, like wait here, like I'll be right out. I just have to go to the bathroom real quick, and I'll be right back." So I walked back into the store and went to the back and went to the bathroom really quickly. Like I made sure to make it quick, like, and then washed my hands real quick. And by the time I got done, like they were nowhere to be found. Like, and I rushed it too. Like I didn't take my good old time because in my head I was like, "Well, this is my opportunity to like, party with some hot chicks." And yeah, it must have been like less than 2 minutes, but like literally they were gone. Like they were completely gone. This was on like a main street too. So like they must have like booked it down the street. And like the second I got outside the store, like this wasn't like a super heavily trafficked area either. So like they were nowhere to be found. And like I like walked down the street and I was like, "Oh, maybe like I don't know where they are." So I tried calling the girl. I tried calling her, and it went like right to voicemail. You know when you call someone and there's not like a waiting period, it just goes right to voicemail. That's exactly what had happened. And then, back then I was like I said, I didn't really know, about, lookism and, this whole sphere. And so I decided to text her, and I was like, hey, where did you go? And I got no response as well. Like, I texted her, and then she never got back to me. So I remember like texting her 20 minutes later, and I said, hey, what part are you guys going to? Like, we got split up. I don't know where you guys went. And yeah, I did not hear from them ever again. So it was just really brutal. It was just tough it was kind of tough to deal with. And then like, it was like in my head, I was so excited that I was going to be like partying with these chicks. And then bam, I get freaking ignored even after walking down the street and buying them alcohol with my own money that I didn't have a lot of back then. And, the money that I had was, from slaving away at this gas station, taking out trash, sweeping the floors, cleaning the bathroom, making all sorts of food, in a sweaty uniform, having to wear a hat. Like, it was so brutal. And then to have that money just go down the drain like that, back then really just hit me hard when I was in my early 20s. Like when this kind of stuff would happen, like I would really take it to heart. I got to the bar, and my buddy was there waiting for me, and I told my buddy what had happened. And the funniest part was he said, dude, I agree. Like, you should have bought them something better than like Cuervo or Smirnoff. Like, that's why they ditched you, man. Like, you should have bought them something better, and then you would have had them for the night. Like, the dudes are clueless in their early 20s, to be honest. Like, after he said this, like back then, that actually, like, I was still pretty down, but that actually gave me some sort of like false peace of mind that it was the fact that I could have just, if I would have just bought something more expensive, and I'd still be hanging out with them. And it wasn't my balding rat's nest head or, my double chin. A lot of guys give that kind of just bro advice, especially when they're in their early 20s. And that is just, it's just so unbelievably false. Like, the best piece of advice that I can give to someone that this happens to is just not do what I did. Like, if some girls act interested in you that normally wouldn't be interested in you without you doing something for them, just simply say no thanks and keep it walking. Like, don't let people use you and abuse you like this. And, unfortunately, I think unattractive guys are easy targets for this type of stuff. Like, the more I look smaxed over the years, the less this ever happens to me. And I think, women know that unattractive guys don't get any attention, so they'll try and use this to get, it might be, using you to get free drinks at the bar or just doing other random favors. Like, I've seen girls rope guys in to buy them pizza, even when you could visibly tell that the girls weren't attracted to them, and they just used the guy to get pizza. The second they got the pizza, they walked away, and the guy's just standing there. And it's just, I've seen this many, many times, and it's brutal to see in real time. And especially when a guy is buying a girl a drink that's not attracted to him, or if a guy is like buying pizza after the bar is let out for a girl, it's like you want to just say to the guy, like, don't do it, man. She's not into you, bro. But like, it's easier said than done. But like, going forward, if I ever see this, I really want to be that type of person that just like does say that. I don't care if it even like makes it weird for them, but like, I want to save some guy from like spending a bunch of money on girls that just have no interest in them. Well, if you've enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like. Feel free to comment down below any similar story that you have, and feel free to subscribe. Until next time, take care.